And I believe we are live. Let's see. There we go. So, good evening, everybody. Tonight we're going to talk about Don't Take It for Granted. And I have here my friends for tonight. And I would like to ask the first question to Paula. You are the first person here in my screen, so that's why I chose you. Paula, what does the expression "don't take it for granted" mean to you?
Hi guys, my name is Paula. Uh, I I can't I don't know. So while we listen the video, I search in my friend Google, and what I understand it's uh, when you believe something is always there. I use the example of the site. I believe my mother is always in her house. Um, it's it's strange to me thinking one day she died and don't and if I go there I can't see her more. I understand, or perhaps this is another thing. I don't know.
Cool, it's an interesting point of view. It's something like we don't give the correct value to the things until we lost, something like that, until we lose. And also, it's an interesting way to think, and it's an common expression that I've heard first time in a song. I believe it was Metallica song. The singer said, "I took your love for granted." Something like, okay, it's not a big deal. Like, I didn't have the correct value, or I didn't know what I mean. Something like, okay, that's it. It's always there, so I don't have anything to be grateful for. Something like that, right? What about you, Kelvin? What do you think about this first question? Have you ever heard this expression before?
Yeah, I haven't heard. I was thinking about and take some notes, try to understand, and search a little bit. I saw that it's basically when you have someone or something, you think it's the best, the biggest, and you need to accept it for you, things like this. And I think it's true because we can trust or we can get everything for us without double to have to question, to think by ourselves, not only accept and follow something or someone. Yeah, I think is it.
That's great. Thanks. What about you, Camila? What do you think about this expression?
I agree with this description because I feel in my skin is about we don't have any granted in your life because sometimes we don't have control about the changes, but the changes happen all the time, and the important it's stay moving all the time because I guess when some people have this type of changes and break the granted, it's very painful for the mental health for people. I guess it's important to understand, and I did a lot therapy for handle with this type of changes and broke a very immediately. I guess this word exists anymore. But for me, it's about that. I guess this maturity for understand it's coming with the time. So I guess when you are young, it's more hard to understand that the things needed to move, needed to change. But I guess now I have some experience, very drastic, I forgot English, in my life. So now I really understand. I don't have more something. It's don't move. It's the same for all my life. I know it's no exist that. So for me now, it's more adaptative routine to understand. You need to change sometimes.
Got it. Thanks. Actually, I'm using my notes. I remember he mentioned we all have free will. And for those who have a religious background, maybe you sometime have heard about it, to have a free will. Like, okay, you can do whatever you want, but you have to deal with the consequence of that. But on the other hand, it's good because we can choose. Like if we live in an environment that is not health, we can of course hurt ourselves, but we can change. We can leave everything back and I don't know, start doing new things, start a new life, start a new family, something like that. I'm being really, I don't know. I am giving an example, so that's something that I really wanted to share with you. So, Gloria, what do you think about this expression? Take it for granted.
Oh, I think that in life, nothing can be taken for granted. I think you live in constant change in our life. Uh, in life, everything can change from one day to the next day. I try to live my life thinking about this. Today can be last day in my life, and for me is in the past when I was young, I don't I didn't think about this, but now I think a lot about this. Is necessary. You see your eyes about the life for another people. You put your mind to think another people, or others people. Um, be grateful for your life. Uh, Grateful to God every day. In my case, the time is so important in my life today. Not because my age, because my change to look the life. I I I learned uh, think about the others people and ask me uh, if another people is important to my life, if my life is important to other people, and um, uh, don't uh, don't be mistakes to another people because uh, uh, tomorrow uh, I pode acontecer I am not have time to apologize the people, the other people. For
This is
me,
a
nothing is great.
this, this is interesting. You mentioned what if today is the last day of our lives? Something like we have a lot of stuff that we are always postponing, or we are always mm, for forgetting to share our feelings with our beloveds. Something like, okay, to say it, just to say I love you to your spouse or partner, to say I love you to your mom or to your father. This is really hard to think and to realize that it can happen, right?
Yeah,
What do you think
and
about?
do value to your family, your parents, your friends. It's very important.
Correct, I agree. Anna, last but not least, what do you think about this expression, all that we have discussed until now?
I hadn't heard this expression. It's new for me. And thank you about to put this for our understand better about this expression. I agree about the whole group here said, but I loved about the phrase the Gloria said now about the change the way for to see about the world of the life, because I think this is something not about the age like she said, it's more about ourselves, about how important for ourselves. And I think about the my opinion, I think it's possible to use this expression in another ways. For example, when we create the relationship and take it for guarantee, I think it's not true because, for example, with the marriage of about the love of the parents, it's something it's necessary to building this relationship. It's not because it's something we had a lot of attention about our parents or about our love, for example, but it's necessary to continue about this, not under I think it's necessary to put the value about these things because something in entering our routine maybe appears this like it's the guarantee for us, it's not necessary to increase about the love or to increase the activities or increase something like effort for our relationships or something we need like to just to see the sun or just to see other things like to take to eat something different or like to drink a coffee with a friend. I think this is so important, and I will try to use this expression.
Cool, thanks, Anna. And actually, it's not my case because I have my parents alive. But have you ever heard someone that have lost their parents and said, "Oh, I wish I had listened to what my parents said to me." Something like all the things that we had heard, and at that time we consider, oh, okay, it's not worth so, or come on, I know what I'm doing. But then we lose them and we regret, in some to some extent we regret. Oh, okay, I wish I had. Of course, we will always regret for something, even to don't spend that much time we would like with our beloveds, and also don't listen to their advice. But yeah, I remember I've heard this expression before, something like, "Oh, I wish I could have like this, could have given the right importance to that advice," something like that. Okay, so let's move on. I would like to ask Gloria the second question. Can you share an example of something you use it to take for something you use it to take for granted but appreciate now? I mean, something that have changed over time to you?
Over time, I learned to appreciate more what nature uh, offer us, both in terms of beauty and in terms of its health benefits for us. For example, in the past, I didn't stop to breathe deeply, enjoy the fresh air in the morning, appreciate the moon at night, watch the day rise. For me, today, I value these moments very much. It's simple. I think my day is more beautiful when I look the sun, I look the animals, I look the flowers. Um, in the past, I didn't pay attention about this um, um, a lot. Today, I appreciate more.
It's funny how we always have a distraction. Like the first thing we do in the morning before even brush our teeth is to check our cell phones for most of the people, right? I mean, it's always the same, nothing new, not really important happened, but we always check our phone to see if there's any notification, if someone called us, that of course nobody has called us in the night. And we kind of are losing this ability, this habit to feel things like you mentioned, to go outside, take a deep breath, and I won't say applaud the the sun, but something like, okay, thanks for being alive one more day. Something like it's interesting what you mentioned, and I'm happy, I'm glad that you are doing it again. So really interesting your point of view. Thanks, Claudia. What about you, Anna? Can you share an example of something you use it to take for granted but appreciate now?
Yes, I think it is some similar, Gloria, but just put an example. My grandma passed away 4 years ago, and it's common in the past, always I travel for the work or something, I call my grandma every day for to discuss about the soap opera, for to discuss about the place where we have. And when I lost my grandma, of course, I miss a lot of things, but one simple thing I lost, I miss so much. It's about the call, the just the option about the call her and to discuss about the routine things and these topics. But for me now, it's so different about uh, this way about the word. For example, I love to pay attention more about the history of my dad, and I pay attention. In some cases, I take notes because I don't know how long time I will stay together with him. And not only about to pay attention more about my parents, for example, but other things like to stay together with my husband, just for to take a look better about our his smile, for example. This is other small things, and I think this when I was teenager, I think about the car, the house, the other things is so important. And now for me is different. It's important, of course, because money is part of the life, but we have other things more important, just for health or stay with who we love it.
I remember the guy on the video said, you don't know what the future holds. Nobody can predict the future. So it's good that you are spending quality time with your partner, with your husband, and also that you had spent good time with your grandma, right? Calling her and sharing stuff from your daily basis. And really, really interesting. I remember my grandma passed away 10 years ago, but I don't regret. I didn't take our relationship for granted. Like the much I, how can I put this together? I spent the most time I could with her, like taking her to to go outside, to visit some city, to visit some beautiful place. So I of course miss her a lot, but I don't regret that time. It's really common when you regret something and you haven't the opportunity to change things, because as it's interesting, as the same guy mentioned, life can only believe it forward and understand back. So uh oh, I took a lot of notes, right? But that's my point of view about it. What do you think, Paula? What do you think? Do you have any example of something that you take for granted, but now you don't? Now you appreciate?
Funny thing, I was do a joke about my lower back, my spine. I I did in the gym kickboxing, but now I have a hernia,
Wow.
so I I miss a lot my spine. But when Anna talk about her grandmother, I remember my grandmother 2 weeks later,
I,
daqui 2 semanas, she was 85 years old.
she will complete 85 years old?
Yeah. So
Wow.
I called to my cousin and said, "Oh, me and my sister goes there. We go to a surprise to her mother, her grandmother. But it's anniversary and my mother-in-law." Né? My cousin said, I said to to him, "But your grandmother uh, can can't stay here next year. Your mother-in-law is new. She was here for a
She's
long
young.
time.
Well, actually,
I
that's
don't
not
know.
true. That's not
My
true. Actually,
I
none of us can be here
when
next year.
when I talk about this to my husband, he said, "But my mother died with 40 years old." Oh my God. But I
Jan-
I I I could um convencer. Eu convenci my
You
cousin
you
to
convinced
came.
your cousin to came.
Yeah,
Okay.
I convinced my cousin to come to a surprise party with me.
It's something like it can be our last immersion tonight. So
Yeah,
if I'm not
this is really.
if I'm not here next week, you know what happened to me. But I hope not. I hope
I
everybody will
hope
be.
not.
I hope everybody will be here next week, right?
Yeah.
Kelvin, what do you think? Kelvin is the youngest in this meeting. I think he is thinking, oh, that old guy.
Oh, I was thinking, but not as exactly. I was thinking I still didn't lost someone important because I don't have so many contact with my grandparents. However, they are still alive too, and my mom, my dad, everyone is alive. So I was thinking at time. I remember that in the past I was used to play with my mom. I think almost every night, checkers, damas, and domino. I don't know how I can say domino in English. I play so much with her, and almost every day. And now sometimes I think I wanted to play with her again. However, now we are working the entire day. I working at morning and at afternoon. He works at afternoon and at night. We talk with each other only at the morning, and he wake up a little bit tired to do the things because he will go out to working. So now I think that sometimes I miss this time when we play checkers and domino together.
I got news for you. It will be worse. From now on, I mean, we'll always be tired of working a lot. But sometimes it's funny because sometimes we make our routine that way. You know, something like, okay, you can have a free time, but you don't spend this free time with your beloved, with your family. You prefer to spend this time on YouTube. I'm talking about myself. It's easier to us to do these comfortable things, these stimulation things that we have, like to stay on social media instead of have a dinner together. We have a rule here at home. It's my wife is the ruler here, so and she stated that we are prohibited to use smartphone on the table. So when we are taking a breakfast early in the morning, when we are having lunch, and when we are having dinner. And I am a privileged person that I can do all these meals at home with my wife and my son. We are not allowed to use cell phone. So we have to talk together, talk each other. In the beginning, it's hard, but then you become used to it. So it's something. Otherwise, we will spend like the entire day staring to a screen, like scrolling or working, whatever. But paying attention to external things and this increasing the distance between even within home. I mean, really hard to understand these modern times, right? Let's move forward. Anna, what do you think about the third question? Can you read and answer the third question to us? Do you mind?
Yes. Sorry, I'm flu. Why
No,
do you think people often take small things in life for granted? Mm, I think this is like a feeling, a human feeling. When we have something um, comfortable, I think we not to pay attention about this thing. I think, for example, when I was teenager, I received a low payment, for example, and I think when I can um, eat a different restaurant, for example, outside my home, all things so good. Nowadays, maybe I visit other restaurants. It's possible I disagree something like this is not so good. So I think it's more about this. When we put something in our routine, I think we not to remember about the old times or not to remember how privileged we have. And I think this is for all things because I work in the health market and I know about the patients, oncology patients, or what else about the pathology. But I listen some patients tell about today I can breathe, today I can walk. Like these small things for us is just okay, I can walk, I can breathe, that's okay, I can pee. And I think this is something for us it's common and we're not grateful a lot or not pay attention about these things, but I think it's their human feeling.
you know what? You said that you work with healthy market, and I thought on the same time, and I remember the feeling when we are feeling pain. Let's see, we have hurt ourselves or we are having headache, and we think, oh, I don't recall, or I'm missing that time where I wasn't feeling pain, something like that. Oh, I wish I hadn't this feeling, or no. My point is, we miss that time when everything was okay and we never notice. Like today, I didn't feel any pain. So I didn't think about pain today. You know what I mean? But if I hurt myself today, I will at the same time start thinking, oh, I wish I hadn't this, or I miss so much when I wasn't in pain. So this is really interesting. And as you mentioned, trivial things, simple things that we do on a daily basis, like going to the restroom like a normal person, eating, chewing. You know, when you have a teeth ache, I guess it's that tooth pain, teeth pain. I don't know how to say that, but when we have pain, chewing, it's a simple thing, and we miss so much when we are in pain. So interesting that you mentioned that. What do you think, Paula, about this third question? What do you think people often take? Why do you think people often take small things in life for granted?
No, I think you more or less like Anna. It's a human being things. We create routines, so we don't thinking about the things. It's uh, um people said our brain likes economizar energia,
To save.
save energy. So uh, some things so happen about my area. I drive, so I don't think about this. I don't know you drive, but you don't think about this. You drive. But when you have a problem like pain, how you say, I can drive a normal car more because the problem if my left side, so I can't step the
Press the clutch.
embreagem.
The clutch.
So
Yeah.
is a small thing in my day, but it's a problem, a big problem. But it's for routine.
And we never think about it when we are okay,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
We never.
exactly.
Of course, unless we are wasting a lot of time on traffic, but it's something else. Okay, yeah, I'm doing it. But and I was thinking about it recently because you can notice even I drive, my car is automatic. My car has automatic transmission. But even though when we are uh, turning, turning to the right or turning to the left, we make some effort. And I was thinking about someone that is in pain. You know, you can't really drive if you are in pain. At least you can't feel comfortable if you. I believe not only for driving but for doing anything. So sometimes we are not grateful as much as grateful we could with our situations when we don't have any problems, right? Kelvin, what do you think about this third question?
I think that the people take the small things of life as granted because we normalize what is common for us. For example, I have a kind of example. I think in the any areas, the first one of our it's a small example. The health area, I was able to eat everything cold, hot. I feel nothing. However, recently, I think 3 months ago, I fall and broke a teeth in the front, and it was restored. However, now it was so sensible. When I drink something cold, I feel a little pain, and I think, oh my god, I miss so much when I didn't feel it. So it's a simple act. I was only drinking cool water, and now when I drink, I thought this. And when, like Anna said, when we are talking about finances, I 2, 3 years ago, I ate basically egg and chicken every day for years. Now I can both some kind of meat, fish, things like this. And when I will eat some chicken. I was thinking, I don't want to eat anymore. I don't like it. However, it's normal, and we get used to do things. Even when when we improve something or we lost something, we get used to it, and we still living. Uh, when it's normalized for us, we don't think more if it's good, it's better, and it's worse.
I believe in your case, you are not taking for granted your situation. You are grateful that you are living better. So it's okay to avoid eating chicken and eggs. You are doing the opposite. It's something like you are in this situation. If you would take for granted, you would say, I have meat to eat every day. That's not a big deal. Yeah, it is because a lot of people don't have. So
Yeah.
in that case, you would be taking it for granted. But in your case, I don't think it's that the case. Thanks for sharing that. Gloria, what about you? What do you think about the third question?
I think there are people who can value the little things, especially the simplest ones. Others don't. Uh, I do not want to share my life in social media. I don't like, but I think it's cool when someone shares moments with family, nature, for example, uh, things what we someone's sometimes forget to value little things. I appreciate to share my pets, for example, in social media or pictures. But I think that in have people um, um, exageram in this share sometimes.
I remember recently, me and my wife went to a good restaurant, and when our meal was served, she took a picture, and I go, "What are you doing that? Why don't you only enjoy your meeting?" She wasn't sending to anyone. It was only a habit. When you take a picture of your meal to share on social media, it's funny. Nobody cares. Like, but you know
Oh my
what? You know
God.
what? I don't know if it was you or Kelvin that mentioned something, but I drove old cars for the most of my life. And but even though it was an old car, a bad car, it was so much better than to have to take a bus, you know. So there's a video, I will look for it, but there's a video where we have someone striving to walk and looking to someone riding a bicycle. And this guy on the bicycle is looking to someone riding a motorcycle. This guy on motorcycle on a rainy day is look to someone inside the bus. And someone inside, everybody is looking in a negative way on their own situation and feeling like ungrateful or something like that. So it's funny. It's funny that our human brain, as Paula mentioned, our human brain is always trying to save energy, and at the same time it's always trying to deceive us. Like we are constantly thinking, oh, my situation is bad. I wish I had something. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. Or I wish I had this life that someone else has shared on Instagram profile. And when you realize it's a fake, it's a fake perfect life, you know, something like that. All right, people. I believe this is a record. I mean, we only have reached the third question and we have like 7 minutes. So I would like to share with you guys the notes I took from the video. And if you want to share something that you have taken from the video, you can open your microphone and do as well. So I have took the phrase unexpected things to happen, and then pure true form, and then whether is your spouse or your partner, and then we all have free will. You don't know what the future holds. Life can only be lived forward and understand back. And the last one, you don't have a lot of time here. So these are the expressions that I took notes from the video. I don't know if some of you guys have taken any notes from that video. If so, you can open your microphone and share. And
For
if
me,
not,
I just think about this teenager smoking. Oh my gosh.
yeah, actually,
You speak for us about the life, the attention, the automation, and about the lung cancer. They care.
no, better than vape, right?
Yeah,
Better
not
than
I
not
have
the vape
three
is the same,
friends,
please.
three
Please,
friends that
the
use
same.
vape.
Not they you need to tell about this. It's so
Yeah,
so terrible.
I
I
tell
saw now.
that.
I receive now teenagers with lung cancer. It's so so bad.
wow. I
Yeah,
went to I recently went to a celebration, a business celebration, and I believe I was the only one who didn't smoke there. Two or three old school guys were smoking cigarettes with yellow filter, and the other ones were always where everybody were smoking a pen drive, you know, a USB stick or a vape. Makes no sense to me. Like, okay, I believe I will work with lung cancer in the future because it will be a crowded market. This is sad actually because most of them don't like it. I don't know. They are doing because it's the hype. What do you think about that, Kelvin? You that you're the youngest guy here and have three friends. I don't have friends, so I don't have any opinion. What about you?
yeah. I don't know. I never took it. I never took cigarettes, vapor, and I don't want to take it.
And
And I don't
I
know.
will never took it again. I will
Yeah,
never take it again.
and I don't know why people like or use it. So I have some friend that use cigarettes. I don't know because everyone said it's horrible the flavor. However, the people said that people or that vapor is good, but I think that if you think that in the future you can have cancer, it's better you, I don't know, eating a candy instead uh, vape something. Yeah, I don't
Well,
know why.
sugar is bad
Yeah,
as well. I like
I,
it, but it's socially accepted, more accepted than alcohol and tobacco. Wow.
I have no sense.
It's something like we are uh mm, giving no you are taking Novocaine. Have you ever heard Novocaine expression? Novocaine is a medicine that I can translate that. Novocaine is anesthesia. Something like getting we are taking off our reality, like smoking, drinking alcohol, you know. Can you hear me, Paula?
We can listen you.
Okay. Yeah, I saw you pointing to your headset. I thought something happened. So it's really hard. It's really hard to live in this modern society, right? Well, people, we have 3 minutes left. I believe I have shared with you the survey. It's really important to us that you share your thoughts, that you evaluate this conversation, and also you can make any suggestions. I really enjoyed this conversation, even though we only reached the third question. It's a record. I will work to have a session where I only will discuss the first question. Because this is a sign that the conversation is good, right? And okay, microphone is open. We have 2 minutes. You can share whatever you want. And
And
it's
I will launch a challenge that have a conversation that we will talking about random things and no one questions. We will achieve no one
oh, wow.
questions.
Actually, I asked Philip to have this kind of session. I don't recall right now, and he told me, no, you don't. Because the intention is to have the questions on the planner so people can prepare themselves beforehand, and it's really helpful. But I mean, even I believe for most of you, the questions were new. I mean, nobody here had prepared before this session, right?
Yeah, I
I
haven't.
prepared.
Okay, so
I
let
need
me
to see twice about the smoky guy.
cool. And I apologize. It was the best video I found to talk about this matter. So
And the English is good. Yes, I think the English is good for to try to understand. I try to
yes.
repeat some words like the guy.
Yeah, and I'm looking for a star to send you because you were the one that have prepared this session. I cannot find a star here. I believe there's no star here in this Zoom app. But okay, guys, I really enjoyed our conversation and I hope you'll have a good night of sleep and see you next week.